Today I'm answering all your skincare questions. Welcome in, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I recently did my AM skincare routine video, and a lot of you watched it. Thank you very much. And you know what? You had questions. Lots of questions. Today I'm going to be doing my very best to answer all those questions and more. If you're new here, I'm so glad you stopped by for this one. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. As I mentioned, I recently did my latest AM skincare routine video, and you guys had so many questions about the process, what products I use, what devices I use, what order I do them in. There was just a whole lot of great questions. I'm going to be doing my best to answer all those questions today. As always, all products that I mentioned today will be listed and linked below, so super easy for you to find. And with that, let's hop into it. Just a short recap for those of you who may not know my story. I was actually a skin neglector all my life. Truly, I was the worst at skincare. A little over 2 years ago, I decided to start a YouTube channel to see if I could make a difference in my very mature, very aged looking skin. As you can see, when I very first started my channel, my skin looked a lot different than it does now. When I first started the journey, I didn't know if I was too old to really make an impact on my skin. What I have learned in the little more than 2 years that I've had my channel is that we really can make quite an impact on our skin using very affordable skincare and at-home skincare devices. When I started my channel, I was 62 years old. I'll be 65 a little later this month. All the changes you've seen in my skin have been completely documented on my channel. I've shared everything that I've used, all the processes I've done, and everything that I've learned along the way I have shared with you in the videos I have over on my channel. I'm going to hop into the questions now that you guys had about my AM skincare routine. And before we get started, just so you'll have a background of my skin, I have normal skin that is not sensitive. So it's been very easy for me to add products to my routine because my skin doesn't react too much. If you do have sensitive skin, you'll need to take that into consideration as you add more products and devices to your routine. I've got all your questions here on my phone, and we're going to hop right into them. The first one is not a question, it's a comment, and I have to agree with the comment. It's from Kathy Hunter. Thank you, Kathy. And she says, I have to tell you that you look younger now than when you were younger. And I would have to agree with that. One thing that I can say about the journey that I've been on for a little over 2 years is what has happened is that my skin has gotten healthier. Actually, what we're looking at right here is mature skin. What we're looking at in the before photos is very, very unhealthy skin. Everything that I have done for my skincare routine was one more step to making my skin healthier. I don't think what you see here in the before picture ever needs to happen. We have such great skincare available to us now at super affordable prices. There's no reason for unhealthy skin to happen unless we just don't do anything at all. I think what we're looking at on my face right now is simply healthy skin that's been well cared for, and I plan on continuing for the years to come. Okay, a question that so many of you had is, will you be doing your PM routine? And the answer is yes. That'll be going up a little bit later in the month, and I'll walk you guys through exactly what I do in the evening. Another question that so many of you had is, do you still make your own DIY vitamin C serum? And the answer is yes, I am. And actually, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, that's the serum that I would use all year long. Because I'm always trying and testing other brands and products to report back to you guys, I often use other vitamin C serums in my routine just to test them out. I've actually found a few vitamin C serums that I love. One is from Dermatology, their vitamin C serum with E and ferulic acid. Another serum that I really love is from MyoLift, and I'll have both of those listed down below. I still do make my own DIY vitamin C serum, and it's actually super, super easy. If you don't know how I do that, I'll go ahead and link the video right up here where I walk you through the whole process. The next question is, are you doing an updated DIY vitamin C serum with ferulic acid? And the answer is yes, I am. I'm hoping to get it up later in the month of November or early in December. The new formula will include ferulic acid and vitamin E, two components that studies show make the application of vitamin C serum more effective. Along with those questions were, are you still making your DIY hyaluronic acid serum? And the answer is no, I'm not. When I first started making the hyaluronic acid serum, it really worked well for me. Something happened along the way and I really wasn't able to get the serum to be the consistency that I wanted. I looked around at other hyaluronic acid serums that are available on the market, and you know what? They're super affordable. So now I just buy my hyaluronic acid formulations and I use a few in my skincare routine. I'll have them listed down below. They're very affordable, and I just find that for me, it's easier to go ahead and purchase the serums that are out on the market. The next question is, do you still use lactic acid in your AM routine? And the answer is yes, sometimes. What I do with my skincare routines, both AM and PM, is that I have fundamental ingredients that always stay in. And those are the three that we've talked about, the Mod Squad. Vitamin A, which are retinoids, retinaldehydes, and tretinoin, vitamin B, which is niacinamide, and vitamin C. Those are in my routine all the time. I include vitamin C in my AM routine, and the vitamin A and vitamin B, that's tretinoin for me, and niacinamide in my evening routine. What I'll do is I will switch out other serums and formulations throughout the year because it's an opportunity for me to introduce a wide range of ingredients into my skincare routine. And plus, I think that it helps my skin just stay more awake and more agile for formulating new collagen and elastin and fortifying the skin barrier by adding new products in a random order. So sometimes I'll have the lactic acid, sometimes I'll switch it out and put something else in there. I'm going to do a video in the future of all the different formulations that I switch in and out of both my AM and PM routines. It's really kind of fun to be able to add other ingredients into my skincare routine, and that's why I say that knowing what you're using is so very important, because then you have the ability to switch things in and out and really have a very creative, very effective, and affordable skincare routine. I've had a lot of you ask me about the fragrance in the products I use, and that is such a good question. Unfortunately, I am the worst person on the planet to ask that of because I have a terrible sense of smell. Truly, I don't know what it is, but I will be in a group of people and somebody will say, "Do you smell that?" And I'm like, "What? No." I just don't have a great sense of smell, and something has to be very, very strong and noticeable for me to notice it. Many of you will ask, does that have fragrance? And the answer is often, I don't know. I'm not bothered by fragrances probably because I can't smell them. If there's a product that you're interested in, you might want to go to that company's website, check out that product, and see if it's fragrance free. As far as looking to me for direction on that, I am like the worst person. So you might want to do your own due diligence on the fragrance issue. The next question says, "Hi Kimberly, in addition to vitamin C and copper peptides, I use hyaluronic acid and lactic acid in the AM. That sounds like a great routine. If I use the Matrixyl instead, would I cut out the hyaluronic acid and the lactic acid?" My best answer to that is that's really personal preference. That's what I'm talking about when I say there are certain things in both my AM and PM routines that are always in there. They're my core ingredients that I know are really going to serve to help repair my skin and generate collagen and elastin production and make my skin look brighter. As far as the other ingredients, know what you're using and know what they're doing. In other words, what impact is that going to have on my skin? If you have a serum that already has hyaluronic acid in it, you may not need to add extra hyaluronic acid. However, if you have very dry skin, a light application of hyaluronic acid prior to putting on your moisturizer could really serve you and help your skin stay more hydrated throughout the day. That's why it's very important to know what each serum does and whether or not you already have something in your routine that is addressing that need. What I can say here is that if you're using vitamin C and copper peptides, you may still want to use lactic acid. I use it for the clogged pores that I get. If that's a big issue for you, you might want to go ahead and keep it in your routine. So make sure that you really do know what you're using in your skincare routine and what problems that it's addressing, so that if you want to switch something else in, you'll know whether to keep everything in the routine or if there's something you can take out. Here's a couple of questions about the devices I use. This gal asks, I was wondering how you like the Nebulyft in comparison to either the NuFace or the Foreo Bear or LED mask. Is the radio frequency more effective for anti-aging than other devices? That is such a good question, and it's probably the question that I would have asked before I really understood what the different devices do. This is back to making sure that you know what your personal skincare issues are and what you're looking to address or fix. All the devices that I use work in a different way, and they kind of have different impacts on my skin. However, one thing they all have in common is that they all work in a specific way to generate more collagen and elastin production in my skin. And that's really what we're looking for 90% of the time when we're talking about an anti-aging skincare routine. It's the loss of collagen and elastin over the years at about 1% a year after we turn 25, to the point where now that I'm going to be 65 this month, I have 40% less collagen production than I did when I was in my 20s. 1% doesn't sound a lot, but 40% sounds like a whole lot, and it's a year-over-year thing. In other words, last year it was 39%. The year before that it was 38%. So you can see that year after year loss of collagen really can add up. Each one of the devices I use stimulates collagen and elastin production in a different way. The radio frequency works different than the microcurrent, and that's why it's important to know what each one of the devices do. I did a full video on all the different devices I use and how they impact the skin. I'll go ahead and link it right up here. That would be very, very helpful for you to watch, so you can choose the one that you think addresses the skincare issues that you want to work on next. All of the devices that I use address anti-aging and collagen and elastin production. The next question is about radio frequency as well. Do you use the radio frequency every day? And do you use microcurrent? I have kind of an admission on this question. When I first started using all my devices, I was probably a little overeager. I was using a lot of them every single day. And you know what? You really don't need to do that. And it probably wasn't the best choice for my skin. Although I'm not complaining about the progress I've been able to make on my skin, I really do feel like I've come a long way. The way that I manage my devices now is the one that I absolutely use every single day is my red light device. And if someone was to ask me which device I would recommend if you could only buy one, I would absolutely say a red light device, because it's so good for our overall health. Not only is it fabulous for addressing anti-aging on our skin, on our face, it is so helpful for our whole body. That's the one device that I now use every single day. I get up in the morning, I sit in front of it for 10 minutes, and boom, I'm done. As far as my other devices, they each have their own schedule. I do use microcurrent, and I actually have two devices. This is the MyoLift. This I use with the gloves, and I only use this once a week because that's all is necessary. This unit is very, very impactful on my skin, and a once a week treatment is all I need when I use the MyoLift. This helps to tone my face, and it also stimulates ATP and creates a glow on my complexion. I do still have and use the NuFace Mini. This is what I use when I'm in a little bit of a hurry or if I want just a quick touch-up. What is the difference between each of these microcurrent devices? For me, the MyoLift is more effective, and I really only need to use it once a week. As far as ease of use goes, the NuFace wins hands down. It's really very quick and very easy. The MyoLift takes a little bit more time and it's a little bit more involved. However, this unit is much more content rich and information rich about the impact it's making on your skin, and it's a much more detailed process. However, the NuFace is great for travel, and this is the one that I take with me when I go on trips. So I still do use both of these and love them both for different reasons. The other two devices that I use, the NIRA and the Nebulyft, I used to use these both almost every day. I know, I was really an eager beaver to make an impact on my skin. I don't do that now. I use the NIRA 1 to 2 times a week, mostly on my nasolabial folds and my marionette lines, and I use the Nebulyft 2 to 3 times a week now. I love this device. It feels so good and so soothing on the skin. I loved using it every day, but you know what? That's really not necessary and probably is not going to get you the very best results. Both of these generate collagen and elastin production in different ways. This is an at-home laser device. This is an at-home radio frequency device. Both of them use different methods, but both degenerate the collagen in the deeper layer of the skin. And what that degeneration does is cause your body to create new collagen and elastin. So they both degenerate collagen, thereby stimulating new collagen production. They just do it in different ways. The reason I like the NIRA for my nasolabial folds and my marionette lines is because mine are really deep. If you go back and look at some of my earlier videos, you'll see that my marionette lines were really deep and folded in. They're improving and getting healthier in that area from using the NIRA. The Nebulyft puts that radio frequency all over my whole face and really offers an instant tightness and brightness to my skin, as well as a long-term impact of generating more collagen. So I love both of these, used to use them both almost every day. Probably don't need to do that 1 to 2 times a week now for the NIRA, 2 to 3 times a week now for the Nebulyft. This next question is a great one. I love it. Do the products you share work for men too? Absolutely. Skin is skin. And you know what? I'll bet you anything that over the coming few years, we're going to see a lot more men pay more attention to their skin and start using skincare. We have so much wonderful, affordable skincare available to us now. It truly is a treat. When we were younger, there was almost nothing available. It was wash your face with Noxzema and go to bed. We didn't have all the wonderful, affordable skincare serums and formulations that there are out now. Truly, it's such a gift that we can have great, effective, and affordable skincare. And in my mind, if you're really looking to impact your skin, there's so much that can really help you in that journey. The next question is about red light, and it says, on the red light therapy, what to get for my sore shoulder? A big panel, just know it would help, I'm sure, but I have no idea what's the best. What I say when anyone asks me about which unit to get for red light is get as much as you can afford, because with red light, power matters. The bigger units are going to hit more of your body. Although if you can only comfortably afford a small unit, by all means go for it. Red light is so healthful for us and so great for our bodies. That's why I like the panel units much more than the small handheld units or the face units. They're just not very powerful and you can't use them on other parts of your body very easily. With my red light panels, I can adjust them and put them in front of my knees, or if I have a sore elbow, whatever it is, I've got that nice panel with lots and lots of power that's going to help me address other issues on my body. Red light is so good for our overall health. The strength of red light is that it generates a whole lot of ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, which is that spark or the gasoline that helps your body heal. Red light is almost a magical miracle. The fact that we can have very effective red light in our homes now, I think is just amazing. And as far as comparing a face unit to a panel unit, the way that I look at it is the face unit is like a little sparkler on the 4th of July. A panel unit is like the finale of a fireworks show. There's just really no comparison in the strength and power of the red light between a face unit and a panel unit. That's why I feel like a panel unit is just a much better investment. And again, there are different sizes, and the company that I really recommend is MITO. I did a lot of research into red light when I was first looking at it. MITO has really quality units at the best prices I've seen. So that's why I like that company so much. They have a lot of different sizes, and there are some panels that have more frequency than other panels. What I always suggest is get what you can afford, because you're going to own it for years to come. It's a one-time investment, and it's going to have such a tremendous impact on your health. Truly, not only is it going to be great for anti-aging, but it's really going to promote a lot of great changes in your body as well. And the last question that I have for today is there a reason you don't use Argireline on the lower face? And the answer is yes. And this goes back to understanding how the serums work and what they address on your skin. What Argireline does is it acts like Botox. And I did a whole video on it. If you didn't see it, Botox in a bottle, I'll go ahead and list it up here. The way that Argireline works is very similar to Botox in that it freezes the muscle underneath the skin. And where it becomes really powerful is in the dynamic areas of your face. That are the areas of your face that wrinkle up as a result of movement. Like when I furrow my brows like this, and when I smile like this, those muscles contract and create those crow's feet. Using the Argireline in the areas of the face that create dynamic wrinkles, the 11s and the crow's feet, is really where Argireline shines. Not that it doesn't work in other areas of the face for beneficial skincare. I think that it probably would, but there are areas of my face that I don't want the muscles frozen or not have the full range of motion that they usually do. I use it only on the dynamic areas of my face, the 11s and the crow's feet. I will let it sink in a little bit and dry down, because when I put my moisturizer on, I don't want it to move that Argireline. I want that Argireline to stay in place. So yes, there's a real reason why I use it on the dynamic wrinkles, because those are the areas that Argireline is really going to be the most effective. Before I finish up today, I do want to make some comments about skincare for us over 50 gals. And I keep threatening to do a video called Skincare Lies. For this very reason. What I have learned over the little more than 2 years that I've been on this skincare journey is that there's a lot of information out there that ended up not being true for me. At least I had very different results in my journey than a lot of information that's out in the marketplace. What I have learned is that we can do so very much with the skin on our faces and the skin on our neck and the skin on the backs of our hands with just affordable at-home skincare and at-home devices. And I'll have to say I was blown away at how effective the at-home devices were, because when I started my journey, I didn't even consider them as an option. But I'm really, really glad that I looked into them, tried them, and then reported back to you guys with the results, because I think it's pretty amazing what they can do for an affordable at-home device at a fraction of what you would pay in a doctor's office to have pretty much the same treatment done. Granted, what they have in a doctor's office is much more powerful, but when we have the devices at home, we can use them over and over and over again with only that one initial investment. And I think that that's a bargain. I've had a lot of people make comments on my videos that I've had a neck lift or a facelift or Botox or something that's done in a doctor's office. And the answer is no, I haven't. When I started my channel, the criteria that I set out for myself is that it had to be at home and it had to be as affordable as possible, because if it ended up working, I wanted it to be as accessible for as many people as possible. I didn't want cost to be a barrier. And what I have found out is that you can make such a dramatic impact on your skin with just at-home skincare and devices. For instance, if you look at my neck when I very first started my channel and you look at my neck now, there are a lot of dermatologists and plastic surgeons that would say, looking at two pictures then and now, that you couldn't accomplish that without surgery. Well, what I found out is that, yeah, you can. I think the reason that no one thinks that you can do it is because no one's ever done a study. I mean, how many studies have been done on 50 or 60-year-old women who launched on an at-home skincare routine, before and after pictures from 2 years? There just haven't been any studies because who's going to pay for it? There's no product or there's no pharmaceutical at the end that someone then is going to market to say, hey, this is what happened. No one's going to do that study because there's no money in it. I have not seen a lot of information where someone like me has spent a couple of years just using at-home treatments that show the before and afters that I think I've gotten on my channel. That just proves to me that a lot more can be done to impact our skin and make it more healthy than we've been led to believe. So if you're launching on your own anti-aging skincare routine, I can encourage you. It is really a fun process and the results can really be worth it. Those are my answers to your burning questions. I'll be posting my PM routine a little later in the month. I'm sure you'll have more questions then, and I'll be sure to answer those as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 and over 60 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. You guys know it just makes my day when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.